So, hello again, everybody. We will continue with 100 advice from the Indian master Padampa Sangye. There's so much rich advice in his teachings, just little nuggets, and we just take them, a few here, a few there. It's not that there is a very organized system in place here. It's just a little bit... a few little verses here and there. So we start with this one saying, delusion born from ignorance is the... No, that was the wrong one, sorry. You see how there's very little system here. So we start with the one before that. It says, deception and lies deceive not only others, but yourself as well. People of Tingri, as witness, take your own conscience. So deception and lies deceive us. Deception and lies. We are constantly lying to ourselves. We are constantly deceiving ourselves. Of course, so the next verse that talks about delusion born from ignorance, it also talks about this deception that really has ignorance as at the root. But here, deception and lies deceive not only others but yourself. So this idea that we misunderstand reality, we misunderstand who we are. We're constantly deceiving ourselves as to what is going on. Not always willfully, it is out of habit, and strong habits. It is out of habits and our pleasures and afflictions and ignorance, or ignorance, attachment, aversion. We are swayed by that, and what happens is that we tend to believe in those lies that we tell ourselves. The little voice that is going on in our head constantly, creating all sorts of ups and downs. They're just lies, they're deception and lies. Our moods, when people say, I'm very depressed, I suffer from depression, if they could only watch and observe that little voice telling us stories, and if they could only just recognize, we don't have to believe those stories. It's not truly who I am. We don't have to identify with those stories. They are only lies and deceptions. They are not based on anything. So we hurt ourselves by becoming depressed and down and negative. Instead, we should lift ourselves up, focus on a positive path, focus on a positive goal, focus on positive thinking, encourage ourselves to tell ourselves that we are capable, give ourselves confidence. Don't listen to a voice that is telling you, you are incapable, you are not able, you are not good enough. Whatever that little voice is telling you, it is only a lie. It is deception where we are really going wrong by believing in our own sort of confusion. So it says here, Padampa Sangye says, as witness, take your own conscience. Now, what this also relates to is how we act, how we think, how we speak, how we act. Externally we might look okay, but internally we know better than anyone what is actually going on. So in that sense, rely on ourselves as the best witness. Don't rely on others as your witness to tell you either how good you're doing or how bad you're doing. It could be one way or the other, the feedback you hear from others. We need to get to know our own mind, know how our mind works, and then learn how to manage where we go with that, where we, what sort of thoughts and actions and speech we allow ourselves to manifest. So we should check on that. Check each day. All the teachings tell us that. Check each day. Set a motivation in the morning, check at the end of the day, and try to be positive. So then Padampa Sangye goes on to say, delusion born from ignorance is the worst disaster-bearing demon. People of Tingri, hold fast to your vigilance and mindfulness. So delusion born from ignorance. Ignorance is the root of our suffering. Out of ignorance we have a strong belief in a self. Out of that strong belief in a self comes strong sense of duality. And with that, attachment and aversion, indifference arises. So the kleshas arise out of that. All the different aspects and varieties of suffering arise out of this ignorance. That's why it says it's the worst disaster-bearing demon. It relates to a belief in a self, a strong grasping, strong fixation on and solidification of who we are. When we analyze and look, we cannot really find anything solid, permanent there to say, this is who I am. This is the kind of person I am. We have always been changing from the moment we were born until now. There has been nothing permanent there. Still, we are out of this, confusion, deception, delusion. We still believe in a strong sense of duality. So we need here to hold on. He says, hold fast to your vigilance and mindfulness. This is a remedy for ignorance, clarity. We need to develop clarity of mind. Ignorance is a lack of clarity, dullness. Ignorance doesn't mean that we don't know all the facts there are to know from all the dictionaries and Wikipedia and all of the various, all the sort of intellectual knowledge there is to know. That's endless. But ignorance means lack of clarity, lack of awareness. In fact, ignorance is often described as having a very busy mind, lots of thoughts, and it's those thoughts that cloud our awareness. It's due to those thoughts that we lack clarity, because our mind is just so cluttered, too much going on. So we need to develop and nurture mindfulness, meditation, shine, do lots of shine, just trying to be in the present moment, trying to not chase after the past, not chase after the future. Just being in the moment, living purely in the present moment, and more our mind will become more and more clear. And this is here what we are advised to do by Padampa Sangye, to overcome this disaster-bearing demon. Apply the different methods, whatever methods you're familiar with, really. The meditations have all the same goal of developing clarity, stay in the present, understanding the nature of mind, becoming more and more aware of where we go wrong, seeing our mistakes clearer and clearer, and also then learning how we can overcome those mistakes. So it's not so much a matter of which technique we apply, but more that we apply what we know and what we have learned, and we apply it to the best of our ability. Then Padampa Sangye says, if you don't hold on to the 3 or the 5 poisons, the path is near. People of Tingri generate powerful antidotes against them. So continuing on from this ignorance, he's saying, now don't hold on to the poisons, to the afflictions, the kleshas. He says 3 or 5. If we count as 3, it means ignorance, attachment, and aversion. If we count as 5, it is ignorance, attachment, aversion, pride, and jealousy. All of them give us a lot of suffering, a lot of pain, a lot of difficulty in relationships, difficulty in dealing with life around us, inner turmoil, outer turmoil. Now the advice here is don't hold on to them, don't fixate. When we get overwhelmed by emotions, it comes due to our fixation. We can't let go. We are so stuck on the ideas And we may not even at that point be able to apply the remedies. He says, generate powerful antidotes. When the emotions have taken over to that degree, maybe all we can do is just wait. Wait for them to die down. It's like a fire that blazes up, but if we don't feed it, eventually it will burn out, and then we can look at it. So if that's the best we can do, that's what we should do. Do nothing, basically. Don't act when we're overwhelmed by emotions. That's already one of the advice that's given in the texts. But if we are a bit more skillful, then when we see it coming, before it has become this big blazing fire that's taking over everything, then we need to stamp it out and to stop it from blazing in the first place. By being mindful, by being patient, having some kind of spaciousness in the situation so we don't allow the negativity to grow. Apply whatever remedy you know, like generosity, patience, understanding, kindness, just not taking things too seriously. Thinking about the situation, understanding why the other person is acting the way they do, or the situation is the way it is. We don't need to make a big deal out of every little thing happening in our life. So here Padampa Sangye says, especially if you don't hold on to them, to the kleshas, then the path is short. What that means is that our biggest problem is holding on and fixating. And if we can stop that, then we have much less work to do. So we need to recognize the kleshas and negativities when they arise. As soon as they arise, like it says in the text, hit the, what was it? It said, hit the pig on the nose with a stick when it gets into your garden, or clean the butter lamp when it is still warm. What that means is immediately when we see something arising, we should deal with it, be aware of it, apply a remedy. Don't wait until it's too late. Then the pig has eaten all your vegetables. The pig has just trashed your whole garden and it's too late. It's like that when we allow the emotions to take over. If it's too late, then we've already, a lot of damage has been done. So try to act quickly and nip it in the bud. Then we've done most of the work. What we need to do also is be aware of what is my main tendency, what is my main habit. Am I an angry person? Am I an anxious person? Am I a grasping person? Am I a sort of a dull person? My mind, how does my mind work? What are my habits? And then we will become more clear about the remedies to apply. So the key point is awareness, mindfulness, vigilance.